Hi, my name is Katrina Johnson and I am a lecturer in the STEPS program at CQ University. Welcome to my video presentation for the course Nature of Learning and Teaching. Join with me as we look at building a web of knowledge with student-centered teaching. I believe that one of the biggest elements of teaching is striving to engage in student-centered teaching. I also feel that the main thing I want to get my students to do is to engage in deep level thinking. When I teach, I try to guide the students with innovative, interesting and enthusiastic lessons that are clearly set out and that encourage the students to think critically and problem solve on their own. I also try to show enthusiasm for every subject, to adapt teaching according to the context, encourage learning for understanding, show an ability to transform and extend knowledge, to encourage my students in critical thinking, to encourage them to try problem-solving skills, to encourage problem approach behaviours, to set clear goals for my students, to adapt teaching to each and every student, and to show respect for every student. I feel that learning is like building a web. Sometimes the spider must go back and forth over the same area a number of times to strengthen the web, but it will also need to continually build and extend the web to finally get a web that is not only strong but encompasses all of the area that it needs to. Students learn in many different ways. They learn when they are relaxed, when they feel a sense of satisfaction, when learning makes sense to them, when they are actively involved in the process and when an act is repeated a number of times. They learn when learning is relevant to their own lives, when learning is exciting and enjoyable, when they are challenged with novelty, when they receive immediate feedback, by practicing a skill just before they use it, when they have a positive emotional state, and most importantly, students learn when they believe they can. The learning theories that I use to back up my teaching strategies are social constructionism theory. This is where learning happens in a social context, such as social experiences and everyday conversations. Constructionism theory, learning through practice. Intrinsic feedback is feedback they get as they do something. And extrinsic feedback is feedback that they get from a lecturer that helps guide them in their learning. Behaviorism theory. This is behaviours shaped by reinforcement, so things like getting marks, getting grades, rewards and credits and the qualifications they get at the end. Conceptual learning theories. These are the deep and surface level processing. Students are encouraged to seek meaning, to engage with ideas, to have a broader picture view, to enjoy the intellectual challenge, to look for patterns and underlying principles, and to check evidence and relate to conclusions. Andragogy. Andragogy is the theory of adult learning. As we in tertiary education are dealing with mainly adult learners, andragogy has a lot of bearing on how we can best teach our student cohort. Knowles defines andragogy as the art and science of helping adults learn. He defines 6 principles in andragogy. Adults like to be respected. They are practical. They are motivated. They are self-directed. They are goal-orientated. And they are relevancy-orientated. These are all the elements that I endeavour to keep in mind when I teach. However, different subjects will change how the content is delivered. And as each student learns differently, my teaching style will have to adapt to deal with each of these students. This can mean more one-on-one help with certain students, and at times more social conversational sessions for those who learn better in a relaxed social setting. As my experiences are evolving the more I teach, I am sure I will find that my philosophy changes to align correspondingly. Thank you for listening. I hope you have enjoyed my presentation on my teaching philosophy.